Hi, this is Judd with PresenterMedia. In this video, I'm going to show you how to load an image into PowerPoint two different ways. One by just clicking and loading it, and one hands-free, or I should say hand-free, as I won't use the mouse to load it in, only hotkeys. And I'm going to create a slide just as you're seeing right now, and you can create this exact same slide and put it in your presentation. And I want to get started so we don't waste too much time. So to create this slide, we have to first load an image. And I'm going to go over to this PowerPoint slide. And this is what you'll see usually when you start creating in PowerPoint. And most presentations you see, most people just go to Insert. So to load an image, go to Insert, Pictures, this device, and load an image from your computer and resize it by pulling on the corners. Something like this. And this would work fine for a presentation. It's nothing to write home about, and your viewers might be a little bored with it, and it's not very visually appealing. So we want to get to looking like this. So what I want to do is I'm going to delete this out. So I got this slide here downloaded from PresenterMedia.com, and I'm gonna load in a picture by going to Insert, Picture, and I'm gonna do stock images. But first I'm gonna show you how to do it hands-free. So let's go click on the Alt key, and you'll see all these little yellow letters come up. Those are all hotkeys you can hit on your keyboard. So underneath Insert, I just click N, and then I'm going to use my mouse just to point. Underneath Picture, there's a P. Click P, and then I could click D to go to my device just like I did before and load in from my computer, or I'm going to click S from stock images. So I'm going to click S this time. And the picture I used is just right in the front, these doctors. I'm going to click on that, load it in, or click Insert, and now it's in my presentation slide. And I'm going to drag the corners to make it smaller, and I could go with that. I could be fine with that. I can move some of these elements just by right-clicking and going Bring to Front, so they're kind of on top of the image. Bring to Front, and that could work if I wanted it to. However, I'm going to show you how to crop an image to get it to match more of the style of the slide if you choose to. So just click on the image, go up to Picture, Format, and go over to Crop, click that, go to Aspect Ratio, and click on 1:1. And you can see the crop now is in a square instead of a rectangle. So I go back up to Crop, click that drop down arrow, and go to Crop to Shape. And I'm just going to click this circle. Actually, I'm not going to click the circle. I'm going to go up to Crop again, go to Crop to Shape, and click this slanted object. So now you can see the crop has now made the picture a slant, which fits with this slide pretty well. And if I drag the slide and the image and resize it, this could work right now and I'd be ready to go. But one little detail is images or shapes come in shapes. They're not changed, they don't morph to match the slide you're on. So if I drag this over, you can see that it doesn't line up the slant perfectly. So what I can do is drag this picture out a little bit. So now the edges line up. However, I've made the doctors and nurses wider, and I don't want that. So what I can do is go back up to Picture Format, which I'm on right now, and go over to Crop and just click on Crop, this little icon, and you can see the actual image behind it. It's kind of grayed out, and you can see your cropped area as well right here. So I can drag on the image behind it and move it around and resize it, which is really cool because I can position this main doctor right in the middle, and I can squish them back into the right shape. I'm going to go back up there. And that's not exactly what I wanted. Oh, there we go. There we go. Into the right shape. And then click enter. And this slide is ready to go. I'll click play and the elements come in. But say I want this image to be animated as well. All I have to do is click on an animated element, go up to animations in the top, go to animation painter and click on the image. And now that animation from that one element is painted on and everything comes in nicely and ready to go. And this image or this slide could be ready to go to use in your presentation. But I'm going to go a little bit further. I'm going to show you how to add some effects to images. So I'm going to click on the image and I'm going to go over to, actually you gotta right click on the image and go to format picture, which I already have open. And it's the second icon in right here. And you can add a shadow just by doing that and bring up the blur and maybe the opacity. And now it stands out quite a bit more than it did before over the other elements, which is pretty cool. And then I'm going to go down a little bit more. So you could play with those settings of the shadow. Down again, I could add a reflection if I wanted to. And I could blur it and have something like that if I wanted to, but I'm gonna take the shadow off. Or the reflection. I could add a glow. You can see it. There's a glow behind it now. You can play with the opacity or the transparency of that glow. You could change the color of the glow if you choose. Yeah, there we go. So I got a little glow on there. You could do soft edges, which will just kind of blur the outside of the image to kind of make it blend into the background. There's some 3D options in here. I'm not going to go into too much, but you could change it to like a 3D angle if you want to. And then the last one is artistic effect. And there's a bunch of effects in here which are pretty cool. You can click on, you can see that it changes the style of the image. And you can kind of play with these settings, transparency. If you want to kind of merge it into the original, you kind of take up the transparency. You can lower the size so it's not so dramatic. That's the word I'm looking for. And all of these have all these settings. You can choose and get a different style for your image. So this would make it more like a drawn like image there. Something like that. Okay. And so that's it for the effects. If you go over to this last icon, this is more about the color of the image. You can actually go in here and lower the transparency by picture transparency. And if you wanted to see some of the elements behind it and don't want the image to be as dramatic and stand out as much, you can also go underneath picture color to recolor and color to match your slide theme, your color theme. And also underneath here you can do brightness and darkness, or brightness and contrast. So you can play around with those settings and just kind of tweak your image however you want it. And if you don't want any of that and just want the original, then don't have to mess around with any of these settings. And then underneath crop here, you can continue to move around the image, kind of like we did before when you click on the crop and move around the image that way. So that's all for this video. If you want PowerPoint backgrounds to work with, you can go to PresenterMedia and go to Presentation Clip Art and drop down and go to PowerPoint backgrounds. And there's a bunch of backgrounds you can use. You can type in ocean up in the top search or whatever keyword you want and click on clip art. And you'll get some backgrounds and also some clip art to use in your presentations. And if I click on, let's click on this sandals one. Underneath, below, you can click on any of these layouts to load them into your presentation to use as a slide design. So I'm going to click on this one right here. You can see it has slants and it's ready to go. I could change the colors inside here if I want to match the image if I want to. I'm just clicking on the color palette up there. And once I have what I want, I can just go File, Download. I could generate text if I wanted to. Let AI generate text. I just have to type in my description of what I want the slide to be, and it would generate text. And then I could go to File, Download PPTX, and download to my computer. Looks like I already got a few in there. And that's downloaded. And then go into PowerPoint, go File, Open Sandals 3. And there you go. That's loaded in. And if I wanted to crop this one, all I had to do is click on it, go to Picture Format, go to Crop, Aspect Ratio 1:1. If it doesn't go, if you don't do 1:1, it's gonna make, like if you add a circle, it's gonna make it kind of an oval. So just keep that in mind. And then I'm gonna go back to this where I can make the a slanted shape, and I'll need to drag this out more so it has like the edges line up, and I think that's ready to go. Go back up to crop and try to take this in a little bit so it's not so squashed. Excuse me. And take the edges in. This, you got to be kind of careful here because you could select the actual crop marker here instead of the picture. So just keep that in mind. And that's ready to go. And ready to go. Yeah. That's all for this video, this tutorial about loading an image. I know it was a lot to take in for just loading an image into PowerPoint. Pretty basic, as I said in the beginning, but hope you saw some other techniques you can use in your presentations to make your images look even cooler and stand out more to draw your audience and your viewers into your story you're telling them as you're adding visuals to go along with your message. All right. Again, this is Judd with PresenterMedia. If you like this video, be sure you like it. If you want to see more videos about this, make sure you turn on your notifications for PresenterMedia YouTube channel, and also subscribe to our channel. We'll see you on the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.